Every year, thousands of people make the decision to move to Central Florida. And for a lot of them, it ends up being one of the best decisions they've ever made. But not everyone has the same experience. Some people move here and feel like their quality of life improves almost immediately. And others realize pretty quickly that there are a few things they didn't fully understand before making the move here. And in most cases, the difference between those two outcomes comes down to expectations and understanding how this area actually works before you get here. Today, I'm going to walk you through the real pros and cons of living in Central Florida in 2026. Not the tourist version, the actual day-to-day experience from someone who's lived and worked here for decades. My name is Barrett Spray with the Barrett Spray team at Keller Williams Advantage Realty. We help families, professionals, and investors relocate throughout the Central Florida area. We service areas including Orlando, Winter Park, Lake Nona, Oviedo, Clermont, and almost all of the surrounding communities. What we're about to share with you isn't theory. This is what our customers experience every day. Let's start with why so many people choose to live here. Number one, lifestyle. One of the biggest changes people notice after moving here isn't just the weather, it's how they actually live day to day. In a lot of parts of the country, life tends to revolve around the seasons. There are months when you're just not outside very much. Here, it flips. You find yourself outside more often, walking in the evenings, spending time near the water, playing golf, or just being outside with family and friends. And over time, that creates a completely different rhythm of life that a lot of people really enjoy. Now, one of the biggest advantages, and something that really separates Central Florida from a lot of other places in Florida, is number two, location within the state. This is something people don't fully appreciate until they live here. From Central Florida, you're positioned in a way that gives you access to almost everything Florida has to offer. You're never more than about an hour to an hour and a half from either coast. Within a couple of hours, you can be in St. Augustine, the oldest city in America. You can head east to the Space Coast and watch rocket launches and be on the beach the same day. Head west, and you've got Tampa and St. Petersburg with some of the best beaches in the country. Go south, and you can experience a completely different lifestyle in South Florida. And if you head north into the Big Bend area, it's slower, quieter, and some of the best fishing you'll find in the state. So what you have here really isn't just one lifestyle. You have access to multiple lifestyles within just a few hours. And that's one big reason people stay long term. On top of that, you've got something else that's pretty unique. You've got the best theme parks in the world right in your backyard. And for Florida residents, there are significant discounts and annual passes that make them much more accessible than people expect. So for a lot of families, it becomes something you actually do regularly, not just once or twice a year. Now, another major advantage, and this is where your decision really starts to matter, is the growth happening here. Central Florida isn't just growing, it's expanding in very specific directions. And when you're positioned correctly, growth creates opportunity, not just in lifestyle, but financially. We've seen areas like Lake Nona grow dramatically because of infrastructure, jobs, and long-term planning. But not all areas benefit equally from that growth. That's where choosing the right location becomes critical. Another thing that makes this area unique is, number three, variety of communities. Within a short drive, you'll encounter completely different living experiences. You can be in a walkable area like Winter Park, a master-planned community like Lake Nona, or a suburban area like Oviedo or Clermont. And each one offers a completely different lifestyle. That flexibility is a major advantage, but it also means the decision matters more. And finally, from a financial standpoint, Florida's lack of a state income tax continues to be a major driver of migration. For some people, it's a benefit. For others, it's part of a long-term strategy. Now, everything we've talked about so far are real advantages, but there are also a few things that people don't fully understand until after they've moved here. And this is where expectations really matter. Number one, heat and humidity. The first one, and probably the most obvious, is the heat. Summers here can be hot and humid, especially in the middle of the day. But what most people find is that life adjusts around it. You shift your routine, mornings and evenings become more active, and because everything is built around air conditioning, it becomes pretty manageable pretty quickly. Number 2, insurance. Another factor that surprises people is insurance. In Florida, the cost of owning a home isn't just about the purchase price. Insurance can vary significantly depending on the property, and 2 similar homes can have very different monthly costs. That's why understanding the full cost of ownership is critical. Number 3, income gap. Now, there's another factor that doesn't get talked about enough, and that's income. Florida is a right-to-work state, and wages tend to be lower here than in many northern states. States like New York or Massachusetts often have an average income in the $75,000 to $80,000 range, while our southern region is often closer to around $60,000. So there can be a meaningful gap depending on where you're coming from, and this is where people get caught off guard. Because while housing might look more affordable, income can adjust too. So what really matters is how your income compares to your cost of living here. Now, for remote workers or business owners, this can actually be an advantage because of no state income tax. But if you're earning locally, it's something you want to understand ahead of time. Number 4, new construction quality. Now, there's one more thing that's really important to understand, and that's new construction. Central Florida has a lot of new construction happening. And while that's a big opportunity, not all builders and communities are the same. Some builders are very consistent. Others are building quickly to meet demand. And in fast-growing markets, speed can sometimes take priority over precision. That doesn't mean new construction is bad. It just means you need to be thoughtful about the builder and inspections. Because you're not just buying a home, you're buying a home that performs over time. Number 5, traffic and growth. And finally, growth brings more people. And in some areas, more traffic. But this is very location specific. Some areas handle growth extremely well. Others feel more congested. Now the big question, should you move to Central Florida in 2026? For many people, it can be an incredible place to live if you choose the right area for your lifestyle and you understand the trade-offs before you arrive. If you're seriously considering relocating to Central Florida, my team and I help people do this every week. Reach out to us using the contact information below, whether you're 6 months out or just starting to explore. And if you want to understand the financial side, the next video you should watch is the cost of living in Central Florida.